I'm Kathy. I'm in my third year of marriage. At that time, I was 27 and my husband and I were the same age. We worked happily together at my husband's parents' restaurant. I get along very well with my kind husband and my parents-in-law. Our business was doing well also. A restaurant where a family of 4 work together. Thanks to being interviewed by a magazine, the number of customers has increased, and it is a little famous in this district. You have to rest properly once in a while. My kind mother-in-law takes care of me. We got along like a real mother and daughter. Well then, let's go to a buffet together on our next day off. I'm so happy. Let's go together. My mother-in-law had a reliable father-in-law. Adore me like I'm their real child. Then I'll find a good place. My husband takes out the computer immediately. My husband was a kind and gentle man. The magazine coverage that our store received was local. It seemed that it was triggered by our customers contacting the magazine. The magazine reporter said that there were more than a dozen people who talked about us. What a happy story. I wonder if we can be a little famous. That's right, but if the number of customers increased, our regular customers would be troubled. Our restaurant is a community-based restaurant located in a shopping district, supported by regulars. It's certainly helpful from the management point of view, but our customers so far are people I want to cherish. My in-laws were sincere and cared about their customers. Of course I thought about my husband too, but it seems I was wrong. What are you saying? You can't have a store without new customers coming in. My husband is easily swept away, and probably being interviewed gave him a delusion that we're a famous store. You should advertise more using social media. Even if you say so. I understand what my husband is saying, but I also understand the worries of my in-laws. Our store has 2 table seats and 4 counter seats. Even if we suddenly become popular, we won't be able to handle it. There is also talk of expanding the store, but it is actually different. I'm sure you'll be busy because we've been interviewed. My husband's name is Joe. He can't think realistically, it seems. Men have such flaws, sadly. It's a kind of an American dream thing, right? The food is delicious, and if there are regular customers, it must be popular with the locals. The vibe of the store is giving me vintage 80s. That's why many people like it, I suppose. My husband was interviewed for the magazine. I was a little worried when I saw my husband's high spirits. Nothing too crazy happened because it was a local magazine. However, the magazine caused an unexpected situation. One day in April, when the cherry blossoms had begun to fall and spring is ending, and when the number of customers finally calmed down, someone came to our store. Long time no see, Kathy. It was my childhood friend Kate who entered the store saying that. I have a long relationship with Kate. For some reason, she'd always mess with me. We were together from kindergarten to college. For high school and college, she figured out which school I was going to attend and apply to the same places. I was surprised when I saw the magazine article. You have a nice shop. Can I eat lunch here? Yes, of course. Please do eat with Kathy. Thank you. To be honest, I wanted her to leave at that moment. I'm sure she'll mess with me again. Long time no see. You don't contact me at all. I'm sorry, I've been busy, and we're not that close. Stop that. We've been friends since kindergarten. Friends, huh? Kate, you started being mean to me in kindergarten. It all started with a scramble for the role of a princess at a kindergarten playground. It's just a silly question about which toy is more expensive. And at high school, you tried to steal my first boyfriend. But my boyfriend said to me that some girl was following him around, which was good for me. You ended up getting called out in the middle of our class and called a weirdo. What are you talking about? Your boyfriend approached me, she desperately shouted back. Since then, she's been doing the same thing since college. Kate saw a picture with me and a boy, and without thinking about it, she thought it was my boyfriend in the picture. I'm sorry I ended up going out with your boyfriend, Kathy. Kate, who thought had beaten me, believed that guy to be my ex-boyfriend for over a year. Why don't you say that I was wrong? I ended up dating a guy I didn't even like in vain. Even when I told you about it, you kept on seeing him. I was impressed. Because of you, my school life was the worst. That's what Kate said to me when we graduated. It must have been the worst student life ever. Why are people like this so quick to blame others? I really wish I didn't do anything, but since our houses were close to each other, it's been like this all since our childhood. Almost always like this. She came over to ask about my grades in school and made sure to take all the same classes as me. Always tried to join the same clubs too. Really persistent. The most thing she's bothering me with my new boyfriend, my current husband. Are you dating someone right now? Why are you asking all of a sudden? Apparently my mother was chatting with your mother. You're saying the wedding is soon. I will for sure go to that wedding. I'm sorry, but the invitation has already been decided. It's a short wedding because I'm leaving soon for my honeymoon. What do you mean? You didn't send me an invitation. I only invite close friends and relatives. I tried to leave the conversation once saying that. However, on the day of the ceremony, Kate called me angrily on the phone. Of course, I was busy that day and didn't answer. But from another friend, I got a call in the evening. As you told me, I gave her a different time and something really funny ended up happening. I kept my husband a secret from Kate, so if she was going to do something, it had to be on that very day. I asked her best friend, who was my classmate, to tell Kate a different time for the ceremony, and this is what happened. If you have no intentions in getting back at Kate, we can just let it go. I think Kate came in about an hour after the ceremony was over, because when the ceremony ended, me and my husband went straight for our honeymoon. Our friends enjoyed their meals at the hotel. What? What do you mean it's over? When we found Kate, who was running around talking to the hotel staff, we saw her wearing a white mermaid dress. If we didn't know it was her, we would have thought she was the bride. I honestly thought about pretending not to know her, but I feel really sorry for the people at the hotel. You must be kidding! Didn't Kathy tell you anything? Kathy's wedding ceremony was finished in the morning. Then take me to the waiting room. She'll still be there, right? In the waiting room, guests of the ceremony from the afternoon will be in there. I can't meet her? So the ceremony is starting now, right? No, it's over. They say they won't hold a wedding reception. We're having lunch in the lounge, my best friend told me. Hey, just be quiet. Everyone is looking at us weird. Hotel staff are also annoyed, you know. I don't care. They all knew, right? This is horrible. After saying that, she ran off while yelling. When I told my mom about lying to Kate, she agreed because my mother knew Kate very well. Kate's parents are normal people. They are also on good terms with my parents. I wonder why she messes with you so much. I actually have an idea why. It was when I was in kindergarten, and it was so silly. I hesitated whether I should tell my mom or not, but I did. I don't know why. Kate was vindictive. When I was in the seat next to my friend's crush in elementary school, I forgot my textbook, so he shared his with me. Then it was spread that I forgot it on purpose. Even when I entered junior high school, there were rumors that I was a slut. The rumors died down quickly, and I blocked people on social media, so I didn't care. My husband's parents' house is 1 hour away from mine by train. I completely forgot. It came so suddenly that I was really surprised. It's a nice shop. I saw the article. The owner was cool too. Thank you. Oh, your husband isn't here? Kate looking around the store restlessly. It's obvious what she's trying to do. My husband is currently abroad for training. This is not a lie. Mr. Smith is training in Italy for a short time, so my husband went with him. Oh, going overseas sounds cool. For some reason, she always asked about my husband in high spirits. After she finished her meal, Kate quickly went home. About a week later, my husband returned home. I listened to his story while receiving a souvenir. Thank you for your hard work. It looks like you had fun. Tim was doing well too. We even created a new menu. Tim is Mr. Smith's apprentice. They seem to be on good terms because they have lived and worked together for a long time. I hope she's doing well. It's a shame that I never met Kathy before. She's 3 years younger than you, right? He said to my husband. I wonder if he'll come back soon. It looks like he hasn't decided yet. It seems like it's fun over there too. One day. Welcome, Kathy. Your friend is here. I'm Kate, Kathy's friend. We're childhood friends since all the way back in kindergarten. Welcome. I didn't know you had such a cute friend. My husband smiles. He was very friendly. What? That's not true. This place is so delicious, so I came to eat again. Kate sat down at the corner seat, as a partition. She was talking to my husband. My husband also seemed to be treating her kindly. Kathy, are you really on good terms with Kate? My mother-in-law seemed to understand my attitude somehow. She seemed cautious. It's just that we've known each other for a long time. To be honest, we're not that close. That's the feeling I was getting too. She didn't talk much when she came the last time. Kate kept talking to my husband for over 2 hours. I didn't know Kathy had such a good friend. The meal is on us today. Is it okay? Thank you.
Your name is Kate? We met for the first time today, right?
Even though Kathy and I are childhood friends, we grew apart after college.
I see. You're an amiable person.
I was keeping my distance because of various things. I was wondering if I should tell him what happened in the past. I got busy with work, so by that time I couldn't speak about it. A few days later, when my husband went out, he said he happened to meet Kate.
What?
Where?
In front of the station.
I pretend like nothing's wrong, but I had a bad feeling. She's planning something, isn't she? You know why she's so obsessed with you, right? I will ask for details soon. I remember one thing, but it's so stupid. The boy that Kate liked in kindergarten's parents and my parents were good friends, so we used to hang out even on our days off. When Kate found out, she cried and cried. She yelled at me, and I remember her crying. Later, Kate's parents came to our house to apologize. Strangely enough, Kate's parents are very ordinary. They're good people. I'd think that her behavior was influenced by her parents, but it didn't seem like that. Her parents must be troubled by her too. She must have really liked that boy. Might be so, but the boy didn't come to school for a while after that. For the time being, I told my family about Kate's circumstances. It's a little scary. Unlike my in-laws' reaction that I should be careful, and my husband's reaction was somewhat subtle.
She wasn't that weird. Are you overthinking it? She was a good girl, wasn't she?
She's been clinging on to me since kindergarten. To be honest, I don't want to be around her anymore.
You're so cold. She's your childhood friend, right? And she might become a regular customer, right?
Judging from my husband's reaction, I thought he didn't understand anything. My mother-in-law chimed in to support me. You have a good wife named Kathy. Don't forget it.
I know. I will never do something like cheating.
I will be betrayed by my husband's words soon. After that, Kate started to show up once a week. She talks to my husband at the corner seat as if it were a matter of course. Wow! On top of being able to cook, you also have management skills. You are such a cool husband. I envy Kathy so much. I was annoyed by the shallow compliments, but my husband looked happy. Both my father-in-law and mother-in-law were at loss. Before long, my husband went out to see Kate off, and the two started to talk even more. Since then, their suspicious behavior continued, and my husband went out alone on his days off. Tim also seems to have noticed his behavior, and called my husband out and scolded him.
Hey, you! Why did you go around talking behind my back?
My husband approached me that night. My husband is usually mild. He's never talked to me like that before. What are you talking about?
Of course you know. You've been harassing Kate for a long time.
What are you saying?
You were flirting with a person Kate liked and trying to steal them from her?
Who said that?
I heard that from my friend.
Did you and I ever have friends in common?
Anyway, she was badly hurt, and even then she came to our store as your friend.
Did you hear that from Kate? Is that what she said? She didn't tell you that while we were working, did she? In other words, you've been seeing her outside of work.
I met her by chance.
What a coincidence. How can you believe Kate's story so one-sidedly? You won't even listen to your own wife. I can call a few friends from school and tell you everything.
What? I don't mind, but that will be bad for you, no?
Do you really think so? The next time Kate comes over, let's call everyone over.
That would be fine with me.
My husband said so, but the next day he came into work like nothing happened. Kathy, I'm on your side no matter what. Maybe you heard last night's fight. My mother-in-law tried to cheer me up. After that, nothing happened for a while. Kate, who used to show up so often, is no longer coming in. But one day, Kate suddenly called me.
How do you know my cell number?
Kathy, you're really insensitive. Anyway, please come to the coffee shop in front of the station. It's my day off. I have plans today. Just come here now. This is the only chance you'll get. I reluctantly decided to go to the coffee shop. I told my mother-in-law that I was called and where I'm going. My husband had been talking to Tim since that morning, and I haven't seen him. I went to the coffee shop in front of the station, and I saw Kate. Kate was dressed up more than usual. I ordered coffee and went over and faced her. Kate can't hide her good mood, but she's doing her best to look serious. I was upset, and Kate was trying to hold back her grin. What? Why did you bring me here? I have something to tell Kathy. Okay, what is it? I'm having a baby! I got really surprised by this. I was prepared my husband would have an affair, but this all unfolded too quickly. Really? It's the truth! A child with your husband! Do you have any proof? Kate brought out her new maternity record book. Looks like the pregnancy is real. Can I take a picture of this? Please! Then you will separate with him, right? Since we're having a child and all. I looked hard at Kate and sighed. Is there any proof that it's my husband's child? Here's a photo from when the two of us went on a date the other day. Kate's phone has pictures of her arm in arm with my husband. There were so many pictures that showed them getting along very well. Looking closer, I saw that the two of them had met up with each other many times. Can you email me all that too? Kate couldn't hide her happy face and grinned. She sent it to me. I don't mind getting a divorce. It can't be helped since you got a child and all. Yeah, you couldn't conceive after being together for 3 years. It's too bad. I didn't really plan on having children. Really? Your husband did, so he was happy I was pregnant. Hee hee. Take a look. Now the child and your husband are mine. See you later, ex-wife. During our conversation, the door of the coffee shop flung open. Kathy! Mother-in-law, what happened? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry about my hopeless son. My mother-in-law runs to me crying. So, Mom, you know too? I don't want you to call me Mom. Mom. Then my husband and Tim came in. It's in shambles. We're disrupting this coffee shop. Aren't you happy that you'll have grandchildren? Of course not. You're terrible. I won't accept this woman as your new wife. Even if you don't approve, I'm the one who gives birth to his child. Kathy couldn't have children. Kate was smiling with a face that looked down on me. If you're going to marry Kate, then I'm leaving with Kathy. I'm sorry, Kathy. Please stop crying. It's all right. I smiled and told her. What? The baby in her belly isn't my husband's child. Stop lying. What are you talking about? Just because you're frustrated doesn't mean you can lie. It's not a lie. Can I speak to you, father-in-law? I call out to him. What happened? This photo is the medical report that Kate showed me earlier. The date of the last checkup seemed like yesterday. The number of weeks of pregnancy written here is 17 weeks, which means it's been a little over 4 months now. So what? That was around the time I started going into your store. Yes, around mid-April, and now it's August, isn't it? You know, when you first came, my husband wasn't working. He was training in Italy. My husband was gone for a month. You started seeing him in mid-May, so it can't be my husband's child. You thought you wouldn't get caught. Well, I don't care that you deceived my husband, but I won't allow that to happen to my mother-in-law. That could be the doctor's mistake, right? You're so dumb. Well, I'm already planning to get a divorce. After that, do a DNA test or whatever. Wait, but that's not my kid? No, it's your child. You're still saying that? If you get divorced anyway, you better pay Kathy alimony. Alimony? We can't pay that. We have a child on the way. That's right. Can you pay for it, Dad? Of course not. If you divorce Kathy, I'll kick you out. What? Why? First of all, you're a terrible cook. Kathy comes up with better ideas for dishes too. My husband is not as good as Tim as a chef, and he's all talk about the business but doesn't do anything. If you don't mind, Kathy, I want you to continue working here. If you don't want to, we'll bring that guy back from Italy. We've already talked about it. You mean Tim? He is a guy who really likes cooking, and I told him I want him to take over the store. Then he said he will come right away. But what about me? You can take over once you calm down, but if you want to leave, we won't stop you. Then what will happen to me? I heard my husband cry. Wait a minute! What will happen to me? Why do you keep getting in my way? That's what I want to hear. Why have you been messing with me for so long? I don't like you. Since long ago, you've always pretended you didn't know me and ignored me happily. I don't remember that. Anyways, I've got proof of the affair, so I'll be charging alimony. You can't do that! I have a baby! She was screaming out loud, but I pretended not to hear it, and I left the cafe. I can't believe she got pregnant to spite me. Obsession is scary. After that, I got a lawyer who was an acquaintance of my father-in-law, and I ended up getting a formal apology from both of them. Kate went back to her parents' house, and she still messes with me, but since she got pregnant, she seems to be judged harshly by her parents. We aren't sure who the real father is, but Kate seems to still believe that it's my ex-husband's child. My ex-husband kneeled on the ground and apologized, but I couldn't forget the attitude and I couldn't forgive him. I'll send him to an acquaintance of mine for training. That's what my father-in-law said. His acquaintance is a tough person and apparently famous. My ex-husband did not want to go and he was crying about it. Then Tim returned from Italy. Now I work alongside Tim at the restaurant. I like working in the shop. I was attached, and I also love my father-in-law and mother-in-law. Tim, who my in-laws love, is a very nice person, and above all, their food is amazing. The regulars were also very pleased. They are very kind. The treatment of women trained in Italy is a bit embarrassing, but I don't feel bad. From now on, I don't know what will happen, but I'm so happy now. In the end, Kate was trapped by a small incident in her childhood. As a result of her obsession, she will destroy herself. She cared too much about the people around her, and she lost sight of how to be happy. This will be her end.